Hello and welcome to That Was Golf. My name is Calum MacVicar. Thank you very much for joining us on this episode of the Weekly Review, where we keep you up to date with all the men's and women's pro golfing tours from around the world. Start this week on the DP World Tour, where it was the BMW International Open held at Golf Club München Eichenried in Munich, Germany. Winning here was Michael Hollick. An incredible 20-foot putt for eagle on his 72nd and final hole of play was enough to give Michael Hollick a score of 18 under par and a one-shot cushion over fellow South African Hennie du Plessis to claim the BMW International Open trophy. Hollick, who is playing in his first full season on the DP World Tour, claimed his first win on the tour, a fantastic moment in his golfing career after he quit pro golf for coaching a few years back and then came back to the game, making his way to the DP World Tour via qualifying victories on the Sunshine Tour in South Africa. On the Nordic Golf League, it was the More Golf Mastercard Stockholm, held at Hanning Golf Club in Österhaninge, Sweden. Winning here was Rasmus Holmberg. A two-player playoff between Rasmus Holmberg and Klaus Threin Beauregard was needed to determine the winner of the More Golf Mastercard Stockholm. Holmberg and Beauregard both finished on 8 under par across the 3 rounds, 3 shots ahead of the field and 2 of only 9 players to finish under par across the 153-man playing field. After scoring the exact same scores across the 3 rounds, a 68 and 2 70s at the par 72 course, it was Holmberg who would eventually find a way to separate the 2 players, winning on the first attempt at the repeats of the 18th hole. Holmberg jumps to 12th place on the Road to Europe Order of Merit thanks to this win, with Beauregard just 1 place behind him in 13th. On the Ladies European Tour Access Series, it was the Swedish stroke play held at Golf Uppsala Soderby in Uppsala, Sweden. Winning here was Silje Torvund Oma. A first title on the LET Access Series and a first pro title for Silja Torvund Oma last week, as she came back from 3 shots behind the lead in round 2 to top of the table by 2 strokes come the tournament's end. Torvund Oma finished on a score of 6 under par, 2 shots clear of Cecile Leit Nissen in solo second place, and makes a jump to 9th place in the season's Order of Merit after only competing in 2 events so far this season. The LET Access Series now moves its focus to the UK and Ireland for the next 3 weeks to round out July's tournament schedule. Over on the Hotel Planner Tour, it was the La Vaudreuil Golf Challenge held at Golf PGA France de Vaudreuil in La Vaudreuil, France. Winning here was Julien Sale. A first win on the Hotel Planner Tour for Julien Sale last week as he became the first Frenchman to win the La Vaudreuil Golf Challenge. Scoring consistency was the key for Sale as he was only one of 6 players to have 4 rounds all under par, with his 69, 68, 71 and 68 giving him a total of 12 under par and a one-shot cushion over early frontrunner Hamish Brown, whose round 3 74 2 over par derailed his chances of winning. Sale moves up to 12th on the Road to Mallorca Order of Merit thanks to this win. On the KLPGA, it was the Lotte Open, held at Bears Best Cheongga in Seogu, Incheon, South Korea. Winning here was Hyoju Kim. A superb, flawless final round of 67 5 under par for Hyoju Kim jumped the South Korean player up 4 places in the final standings to top of the table to claim the Lotte Open title. Kim finished on a score of 15 under par, 1 shot clear of 4 players in tied second place, 3 of which all remained in tied second from rounds 3 to 4 after shooting the same score, a 72 under par to finish on 14 under. With this win, Kim moves up to 8th place in the KLPGA points list for the season. Over to the Ladies European Tour, where it was the Hulencourt Women's Open, held at Golf Club Hulencourt in Genappe, Belgium. Winning here was Carolina Chacarra. In her rookie season on the Ladies European Tour and in only her 3rd start, Carolina Chacarra is a winner, lifting the Hulencourt Women's Open title. Carolina, whose brother is DP World Tour player and 2-time winner this season Eugenio Chacarra, is currently competing on both the LPGA Tour and the Ladies European Tour after gaining status at both Q schools last year. A clearly incredibly talented golfing family, Carolina made the Chacarra name a winning one in the women's game, shooting a bogey-free 68 4 under in her final round, her second bogey-free round of the tournament to end on 12 under par and 3 shots clear of Australian Kelsey Bennett. Chacarra's win sees her move to 24th in the order of merit for the season and gain entries to the ISPS Handa Scottish Open as well as the AIG Women's Open later this year. On the PGA Tour of Taiwan, it was the Chaoshi Series Din Yu Open held at Taichung International Golf Club in Taichung City, Taiwan. Winning here was Chan Shi Chang. Veteran Taiwanese golfer Chan Shi Chang added a 28th career title this week, his 14th on the PGA Tour of Taiwan. Entering round 4 tied with fellow countrymen Wang Wei Huan and Shori Ishizaka of Japan in the final grouping of the day, Shi Chang's experience of pressure final rounds proved to be decisive as he shot a 69 3 under par, whilst his playing partners both shot rounds of 72 under par, giving Shi Chang a score of 19 under par for the tournament and a one-shot advantage over the field. On the JLPGA, it was the Shiseido JAL Ladies Open, held at Totsuka Country Club East Course in Yokohama, Kanagawa Prefecture, Japan. Winning here was Ko Kurabayashi. A 7-player playoff was needed to decide a winner at Totsuka Country Club, as Keina Nagai, Misaki Miyazawa, Meg Maeda, amateur Aura Nagasawa, Momoko Kamiya, Ko Kurabayashi and Fuka Suga all finished on 12 under par across the shortened format of 3 rounds, with Momoko Komaya shooting a spectacular final round 8 under 64, the joint lowest round of the tournament, to get herself into contention. A repeat of the par 4 18th saw Fuka Suga drop out of contention at the first attempt. A second time round the 18th saw Ku Kurabayashi make birdie to beat the remaining 5 golfers, moving into 16th place on the season's order of merit as a result. The third senior men's major of the year, the US Senior Open, was held at Scioto Country Club in Columbus, Ohio, USA. Winning here was Padraig Harrington. Back-to-back US Senior Open titles for Padraig Harrington last week in Ohio as the Irishman ran out a 4-shot lead over Stuart Sink. Harrington, whose win sees him move to 3 career US Senior Open titles, stopped Sink from claiming a 3rd successive senior major this season, as he finished up the only player in the field to have 4 successive sub-70 rounds, accounting for his final score of 12 under par. On the Japan Golf Tour, it was the Japan Players' Championship, held at Nishi Nasunu Country Club in Nasu Shiobara City, Tochigi Prefecture, Japan. Winning here was Aguri Iwasaka. After making the weekend on 7 under, beating the cut line by 2 strokes with opening rounds of 72 under par and a 67 5 under par, Aguri Iwasaka then went on a tear across the weekend, catapulting up 34 places on the leaderboard to eventual winner. Back-to-back rounds of 63 9 under, which both included 10 birdies and a bogey, gave Iwasaka a final score of 25 under par, 2 shots clear of Sang-hee Lee. This is Iwasaka's 3rd win on the Japan Golf Tour and his first in 2 years. Out on the Alps Golf Tour, it was the Fred Olsen Alps de la Gomera, held at Tessina Golf Le Gomera in Canarias, Spain. Winning here was Lars Kunin. Lars Kunin secured his 3rd Alps Golf Tour career title last week, his first since the Tenerife Open in 2023. Kunin, who has successfully made every cut of every event he's played in this season, began the final round on 11 under par, 1 shot clear of 4 players in tied 2nd place. His narrow lead became a much larger one by the end of the day as he went on to shoot a bogey-free 65 6 under par and finish on 17 under, 4 shots clear of the chasing pack. This win moves Kunin up to 7th place in the season's order of merit. Out on the Pro Golf Tour, it was the Grady Polish Open, held at Grady Golf Club in Pruszczyce, Poland. Winning here was Florino Clerici. Florino Clerici is a 2-time winner on the Pro Golf Tour, securing the Grady Polish Open. Clerici, who had been struggling to find form this season after picking up an infection whilst out in India on the Hotel Planner Tour earlier in the season, showed what he is capable of last week, shooting 68, a bogey-free 62, and a final round 64 at the par 70 course for a total of 16 under to lift the trophy with a 3-shot lead over 5 players in tied second place. Clerice's early season worries will feel like a very distant memory now, as this win jumps him up 76 places on the order of merit from 100th to 24th. Out on the Annika Women's All-Pro Tour, it was the Coca-Cola Game Above Michigan Women's Open, held at Crystal Mountain Golf Club, the Mountain Ridge course, in Thompsonville, Michigan, USA. Winning here was Milagros Chavez. 3 players finished the tournament in Michigan on a score of 8 under par, leading to a playoff for the Michigan Women's Open title. Milagros Chavez, Kate Villegas, and Katie Lou all finished just 1 shot ahead of a trio of players in tied 4th to enter the playoff, with Villegas shooting the lowest of the final round, a 5 under 67, to get into contention. Only 1 playoff hole was needed for Milagros Chavez to take out the win and claim the trophy, a win that sees her move to 6th place in the Callaway Race to Qualifying Order of Merit. Katie Lou sits in 1st place, while Kate Villegas now moves to 4th. On the Tartan Pro Tour, it was the Cardrona Classic, held at Cardrona Hotel Golf and Spa in Peebles, Scotland. Winning here was Graham Robertson, back in the winner's circle for the first time on the Tartan Pro Tour since his trio of victories in the 2024 season. Graham Robertson finished on a score of 9 under par for the tournament with a 1-shot lead over Craig Howie in 2nd place. Heading into the final round, Robertson sat on 5 under par, 2 shots behind Howie at the top of the leaderboard. A strong final round showing of 4 under par, which included a string of 3 birdies on the back 9 for Robertson, moved him level with Howie as both players headed down the 18th hole together in the final group of the day. A disaster bogey for Howie on the 18th would see him drop from a shared lead and into 2nd place, leaving Robertson to clean up with a par and take out the win. Robertson now moves to 6th in the season's order of merit, while Howie sits 3rd place behind pace setters Michael Stewart and John Vogelpohl as we approach the halfway point in the season. Final top 10 in Peebles was 1st place on 9 under and winning the tournament, Graham Robertson. Solo 2nd on 8 under was Craig Howie. Tied 3rd on 7 under was James Morgan and James Wilson. Solo 5th on 6 under was John Patterson. Tied 6th on 5 under was John Vogelpohl, Hamish McComb and Jack Brune. Solo 9th on 4 under was Robbie Morrison. And tied 10th on 3 under was Jack McDonald, Jack Hawksby and Greg DL. And lastly this week, we head over to the PGA Tour, where it was the John Deere Classic held at TPC Deere Run in Sylvis, Illinois, USA. Winning here was Chris Gotterup. A stunning bogey-free round of 62, 9 under par in the final round of the John Deere Classic gave Chris Gotterup a jump of 11 places on the leaderboard into 1st place, beating Max Homa by 1 shot. This is Gotterup's 5th career win on the PGA Tour, his 3rd in 2026, and the win moves him up to 6th place in this season's FedEx Cup standings. And for another week, that was golf. Thank you so much for listening in to this episode. If you like what we do here at That Was Golf, be sure to give us a follow on our Instagram page at That Was Golf Pod, and subscribe to the podcast to stay up to date with all future episodes, released every Tuesday, 7 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time.